welcome to this game from the Best in Faction tournament, where Ukrocky will be facing off against Chaplout on this map. Appears to be a rainy day here in this corner of the Soul world. And here we can see the layout of the Demons player and the Reptile Kingdoms player. Ukrocky having quite the close range pressure here with the Fire Lizard and 2 units of newts with javelins. But then again, the Demons player has a lot of short range power as well with the Fire Demons, who are basically Fire Lizards but better. Now, we can see the lists here. They're Chaplout playing a Decay Demons list, colored red to confuse us, maybe to make it easier to separate from the Reptile Kingdoms player. He has 2 units of Plague Walkers, which are the tankiest units in the game at the moment. Infantry with 2 hit points each for a mere 90 points. And then, rounding off that, he has a unit of Plague Flies and Abyssal Herald on Plague Flags as well. So he's got quite the mobility, quite the durability, and some range pressure in the Fire Devils. And you know, those Fire Devils, they're a problem that has to be solved. Because if they get to stand and shoot, the entire, that's going to crumble that part of the map for the Reptile player. Of course, the Fire Devils aren't the toughest fighters once you get into melee with them. The fact that Ukrocky got his Pterodons, flying dinosaur unit over on that side, bodes well with him being able to pick a fight with the Fire Demons, especially if Chaplout is moving first, giving Ukrocky last move. But I'm not sure. Let's see. Chaplout with 5 units in this Demons list. Demons generally quite expensive. Ukrocky running 6 units. And each of those Plague Walker units has a spell, Plague, lowering the skill and thus the ranged damage output of those Braves. Those Newt Braves. So, and also slowing them down a bit. Not too far that they can't get on the objective. It's an interesting peek into Chaplout's thinking when he was considering moving the flies onto the objective just to keep Ukrocky. So I guess Ukrocky or Chaplout is happy that Ukrocky didn't move his newts onto the objective there, giving him more time to get into position. So far, it looks like the left flank is where Ukrocky put his Dino heavy hitters, T-Rex, the Jungle Storm. Jungle Storm, often able to punch way up. If it gets lucky with his power 3 and poison, but it might struggle a bit against these units. Let's see. Chaplout now wanting to move his flies in position to keep the newts off the objecting on the right side. Let's see. Demons do get on the left objective. Remember, turn 1 you don't get any points for holding the objective, so no reason to rush it too much. Alright. Plague Demons, Plague Walkers plaguing some unit, I'm not sure which one. But that might be close enough for the Fire Lizard to get some shots off against it, no? Would not be the worst to move it forward and start working on those numbers. Let's see. So Ukrocky is list with newts. Newts are like goblins, I guess, maybe even a little bit weaker, but they are cheap. So if the combat pressure comes on the right side here, we might see that crumble, but the way Chaplout has deployed does not look like that's where he's gonna be. I mean, his mobile units with the Abyssal Herald is his hardest hitter, and it's super mobile, so I guess it's a bit hard to say where he's gonna go. I mean, he could just send it cross field, fly into the newts, and the newts will probably run away. What are you gonna do with Chaplout? I'm not sure how true it is, but Ukrocky loves talking about playing fast when playing ranked on the ladder. Chaplout, on the other hand, has said he likes taking his time. So I guess it can be a good peek into different players' psychology. What is he thinking about? And what is this beautiful dashboard we can see at the bottom here? No, what? Okay, was afraid the game bugged out. Apparently Chaplout was not able to move for a bit, but he got to move now. And he moved his Herald over to the left side. I guess he is gonna hope that his Plague Walkers can contest there on the left side while he wins the right objective and starts racking in the points. Ukrocky choosing to be very careful with Fire Lizard there. Not wanting it to get picked off by the flies, I guess. Oh, yeah, it's Chaplout that has the last move. Does make it quite hard. What can Ukrocky do with first charge? I mean, he can clearly get his Pterodons into the Herald, but that is a... Gets it's a Pyrrhic charge. The Herald will kill a few of the Pterodons. But the Pterodons will probably do... like kill one or maybe even both of the flies around the Herald. And that Herald, if you end up with just him left, he is deceptively tanky. I'm not sure if he's running unyielding on him, but we should keep an eye out for that. Because if he gets standing there with 5 armor with Abyssal armor on top and unyielding, that is a very tough nut to crack. Alright, looks like with the flies moving over there, seems like Chaplout does not want those flying into the Herald. Ukrocky is content with shuffling his flying Pterodactyl. Oof, and here I was calling Pterodons. Look like Ukrocky is content moving his Pterodactyl riders towards the center. Now, how would I charge this? I would just face charge those poor newts. Ensure that they are not getting the range damage in. Now, fire demons moving last, or fire devils maybe. They do have the active that allows them to move further. It looks like that's what they're doing. Hmm. Chaplout doing his best to get in front, get his fire devils as far forward as possible. And it looks like he succeeded. Turn 2. Does Ukrocky charge his T-Rex into the walkers? He does not. I would not either. Then again, the walkers might bloody the jungle swarm a bit too much. Alright, yeah. He sends the flies in, doing what he can to keep those newts off the objective. I do think, can he get the newts that are in the forest onto the objective on the right? Does look like Ukrocky just wants to get his jungle swarm onto that objective to contest. And probably open up space so he can actually use his fire lizard. Wiggling about, doesn't want to end up accidentally giving away a flank. Looks safe enough. Of course, risking the flies coming from the other side, but something tells me he'll get enough stuff covering for that. Alright. Fire devils too far away from anything, not finding any targets to flame. Which is a very good thing to avoid having happening to you. Or no, I was experimenting with a fire devil plus hex list, and that could lead to some hilarious rounds with some high rolls and some bad rolls from the opponent, just annihilating entire units. It's beautiful. Okay, Chaplout trying to get his playwalkers onto the objective, succeeding. Ukrocky wanting to move his fire lizard into cover behind that forest, but also flame the plague walkers, I guess. Now, each of those plague walker blocks is, I think there's like 11 and 12 of them, and they have 2 hit points each. Huh? Yep. 3 wounds. Now they have 2 hit points each of them, so that would be 24 hit points worth of plague walker to chew through. They don't hit particularly hard, they have low skill, so they do tend to lose fights, and they do crumble for 1 to 3 extra wounds when they do lose a fight. But it is a lot of hit points to chew through, and the Abyssal Herald being able to restore 1 to 3 wounds on them as well, making them a very, very sticky unit and hard to get rid of. Of course, getting a multiple side flank on them is the ideal case, so you can just chew through them. Let's see how well Chaplout can be at positioning here. Considering moving the flies before moving the walkers, not the worst idea. I can even ensure he's keeping the newts off the objective on the right. That is tricky. I mean, he does have last move. The fire devils will ensure that those pterodactyls don't move out in the open. I guess it's a safe enough choice there. does move into javelin range, but they're only scale 2 now, so they're not going to be hitting that much. Not that much, I say, and it does get 7 hits. Probably a couple of wounds as well going to sneak through. Yeah, 3. One of those flies is down to 1 wound now. Because the plague flies are all still tanky. That's the entire shtick of these decay demons. You just hang around, you don't get rid of them. Ukrocky. Moving into position, charge into those plague flies, it seems. He does a first charge, so he can choose. And he's also getting out of the charge arc of the Abyssal Herald. He might very well end up chasing the newts over there out of the map. Oh, are those newts gonna run off the map? It would be a mistake to not at least give them a chance to rally first. It's for all those newer players up there. One good hint is like if you have ranged units, move them as far onto the battlefield that if they have to flee you, or if they do get in a fight and run away, then you know they're so far away from the edge of the map that they don't run off the map right away, at least. All right, last move. Where do you want to go? That is a choice. Moving over there. He does manage to squeeze through that gap. Could give him a really, really good charge into the flank of those plague walkers over on the right objective. But they, even if he does do a lot of damage, they would still be on the objective. I'm not sure if he's able, if the plague walkers on the left, it could just shuffle over, being flank range of the T-Rex. But maybe that's what he's trying to bait. It did look like he managed to place the T-Rex just outside of that forest, which means he could just flee, and that's a sneaky way for Ukrocky to lure those plague walkers on the left of the objective. Doesn't look like Chaplout is falling for that though, as he's wanting to try to get a side charge on side charge going. Let's see. Alright, Abyssal Herald, 3 out of 3 hits, as expected. 2 saves still from the newts, that's big. 3 hits from the flies, that's big, but 2 more saves. Only 4 hits from the newts, but they do 2 wounds. Oh, that was unlucky always. Guess it was an okay outcome. Alright, Ukrocky using first charge. Where does he go? Does he flank? Yeah, now it's very tempting to flank into the Herald. I would totally do that. I mean, yeah. The pterodactyl riders should outdamage the fire devils if they flank the newts. If you can start the crumble train on the flies, yeah, I would fall for that bait if it was a bait from Chaplout. Right, newts go into flies. I mean, demon units can't run away, so they either take the charge or they countercharge. Countercharge. That's a lot of charges turn 3 here. T-Rex into side of plague walkers. Jungle Swarm on plague walker action on the left. Pterodactyls going into the side of the Herald, and the Herald is not that well protected as long as the flies are taking the punches and the fire devils going to the side Newts. Oh, no, there's no room for the... Oh no, there was no room for the pterodactyls because of the order of charges. If you had charged the pterodactyls into the side of the herald first, he would have... they would have gotten in there first, and he would have gotten in there. Instead, since he went in with the newts, that didn't happen. Oof, that is painful. Painful, painful, painful. Well, at least it gives him a chance to move his pterodactyls into a potentially better position. And triggering Warcry now, it is a good time to do it. Alright, 2 units left to move. Where does he go? If the newts run, that will be a clean side charge. Oh, yeah, he might get on the objective. That is also really good. Stopping the bleed. Yeah, that's not a bad idea at all. Yeah, go for it. It's looking pretty good for the Reptile Kingdoms there. Now we just get a nice controlled flank with the Fire Lizard, and everything should be hunky-dory, right? Yeah, I can't really see you getting in over there, at least this round. I mean, the... I mean, can't you just get in the side of the Herald? Alright, he moves it over there. Interesting choice. Maybe wanting to bail out the T-Rex. Alright, 2 hits, 2 go down. Flies, hitting 2, doing 1 wound. Very average. 7 hits this time from the newts, doing 4. Can the Fire Devils? They only do 1. Is it enough to chase away the newts? The newts hold. I'm not sure if that is good or bad at this point. 2 flies go down. That is a lot of wounds. Holy Christ. The newts just shredding those plague flies. Alright. Demon player really needing this fight to go his way. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. Not getting the damage in this round, the Demon's player. The battle slightly going the way for Ukrocky here. I mean, he still has the decay call on the Abyssal Herald to bring some back. Alright, getting a few wounds in there with the T-Rex and the Chieftain. 5 wounds, small crumble. A couple of them go down. Alright, the bleed has stopped. Oh, he does end up flying off the objective, going into the flank there. And, so, and there was too many flies died, so he couldn't charge onto it. There goes the Call of Decay. And Fire Lizard trying to squeeze into the middle there. Maybe he's hoping... Oh wow, he does get through. Wow. Ukrocky with the foresight. Back charge on the Herald now. Yeah, I can see that paying off big time. Come on. There we go. He gets it in. Doesn't cap the objective though, because since he flew off it, Fire Devil is proving too tempting of a target. It is 90 points of Fire Devil, so not the worst idea, I guess. 4 newts going down. They're rolling good though, and the flies keep failing at defending. Only one wound once again from the Fire Devils. Can the Pterodactyl Riders, they do deliver, winning by 2. Now the crumble party is going to be starting here. Only 1. And a 3. That's a lot of devils going down. Not that many hits this time around for the newts, but they do manage to take out one of the flies. And the flies only get 1 hit back. They don't even do a wound and they start crumbling even more. 2 wounds left there now. And at this point, the fire lizard should have stayed on the left side, helping out there. Oof. Plague Walker's demolishing the jungle swarm this round. Alright, how's the raptor doing? T-Rex delivers 5 hits from the Plague Walkers, but they do 2 wounds. The T-Rex is one hell of a fighter, but he does tend to run out of hit points. Fire Lizard going in. Points bleed keeps on happening. Can the Abyssal Herald hold out? Keep this clump of dino units down. 2 against 2. Last flag goes down. That is bad news for you, Ukrocky, unless they crumble is big. Big hits from the Pterodactyl Riders. The Devils are no more. Oh, and the Fire Lizard comes in, does another wound. That is a very dangerous crumble roll. He goes down. Flies against newts. Fly does not want to give up today and manages to keep it at a draw. Alright, fight on the left. This is the important one. Well, the Plague Walkers are doing their job on this side, and the Jungle Swarm flees. T-Rex. If this T-Rex lives, everything is jolly good for Ukrocky. Goes down, he might just be too far away in points. Big crumble there. Turn 6. Alright, let's have a look. He should be able to get... Let's see how Chaplout moves. Jungle Swarm rallies, that's good points-wise. Very... Alright, Ukrocky moving the Pterodactyl Riders to the middle. Short ad for another game popping up on the bottom right. Alright, the points bleed has stopped. What does Chaplout do? The way Ukrocky moved those pterodactyls, he should be safe to just charge off. Shouldn't he? Or can they get... No, they can get on the objective, I guess. So he should keep his guys there. Pray that the T-Rex goes down. But man, those newts... Not seeming that weak once you get them in combat this game. They just shredded those flies. Where are you going with them, huh? Just keep them there, right? Safe enough. Oh, he moves them forward. He gets them all the way to the edge. I mean, if he gets them to the edge... No, you shouldn't do that. If you get charged, you're most likely just crumbling them down to half, right? Oh, frustration spin. Or maybe it's a celebration spin. Who knows? Okay. Is he doing math behind there? Is he sitting there with a calculator wondering? I mean, there's nothing to gain from moving that way. I mean, maybe you get really lucky and the Plague Walkers will chase the pterodactyls away, but I don't see it happening. Alright. Chaplout moves forward. Did he move in range of the fire lizard? The big question of the moment. He did not. Oh, he did move in range. Ukrocky getting a lot of value out of this guy. And now I think that a few hit points left on those plague walkers before they're halved. Plague flies going down. Not a lot of demon units left on this battlefield. Two hits. They only do one wound. Gotta be one very unlucky T-Rex to lose now. I said in the list overview that in order to win with Reptile Kingdoms, Ukrocky has to get a lot of value out of the T-Rex, and well, I feel the T-Rex delivered here, and so did the Fire Lizard. Yeah, even getting that unit below half. It's looking very, very good for the Newts. Very, very bad for the Demons. Now in this tournament, we're not counting the points, but I think this would be a very good points victory for Ukrocky. I'm not going to do the math, but I would guess it's like a 350 point victory or more. Mainly not turning catastrophic because of the 150 points the demon player got from the objectives. And there you have it. Ukrocky takes the game, winning by 250 points-ish. GG.